Good morning, everyone. We will call this the December 1st Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hopefully everyone had a pleasant Thanksgiving holiday. Moving in, we'll start with our minutes.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion we approve the minutes from our regular meeting on November 17th, 2025.
So moved.
Motion and second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Presentation of accounts payable.
Mr. President, I'd like to recommend the claims dated November 19th, 2025 through December 1st, 2025 be approved without exception.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the accounts payable. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Payroll.
Mr. President, I would also like to recommend the payroll dated November 21st, 2025 be approved without exception.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the payroll. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. All right, we have a couple ordinances ahead of us.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion we hear ordinance 2025-41-CM, UZO Amendment 122.
Second.
Ryan.
All right. Well, this one will be pretty quick. The number 122 concerning gas stations, you all heard, and we're not in supportive of it. It was a Lafayette-driven initiative, and I think you all felt it would kind of work best for the cities, not really for the county. This was an amendment that the city initiated, and as a result of that, state code requires that it get bounced back to the APC, and then that amendment is then recommended on to the localities. So now it's bounced back to you. So since you didn't approve the original version, my recommendation would be to decline this amendment, because it wouldn't make sense to include it. But the other localities that did adopt it will now have an opportunity to include this amendment into what they originally adopted. So be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Anyone in the audience would like to speak in favor or opposed to this ordinance?
Yeah.
Seeing no one. Jennifer?
Murtaugh?
No.
Brown?
No.
Byers?
No.
Ordinance 2025-41-CM is denied 3-0.
All right, we now have another ordinance.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion we hear ordinance 2025-42-CM, rezone Sterling 27A to R1B.
Second.
Okay. Ryan?
All right. And it is noted that there's a commitment attached to this as well. The rezoning petition before you is from A to R1B with a commitment that is to adjust a certain number of lots to R1 standards. And so that is what the commitment is showing there. The proposal itself is actually supported by the 2024 Townships Plan for low-density residential, and so the plan would support this. Our denial recommendation really is rooted in the situation on the ground here with obviously the floodplain, with the creek nearby. In these sorts of environmentally sensitive areas, coupled with the fact that you have a major commercial operation not too far away, staff really felt that plan development zoning kind of made sense here, because we have sort of conflicting situation where when there's a major commercial center in a suburban environment, there's usually a recommendation to try to increase the density in that area, because you have transit availability, you have availability to potentially walk to a commercial environment. And so PD zoning kind of made sense there. And then on top of that, you obviously can be able to have some influence in how the site is organized. And so increasing the density, you might be able to compress the footprints of some of the building, lessen the impact on the environment, increase buffering in areas and that sort of thing. And so, so that really is where our focus was on that. But we do have to acknowledge that the land use plan does support this lower density environment as well as at the subdivision stage and drainage board, the issues of the floodplain will be dealt with one way or the other in terms of any storage required, any sort of engineered environments that the floodplain would have to go through in order to achieve essentially a quality environment that can sustain this proposal. So the non-binding site plan that was included with their petition is sort of their first offering, and the developer can sort of speak to where they want to go with it. So if there is support for the rezone, obviously the commitment probably makes sense because they are proposing essentially a lightening of the density, which would make sense in this sort of environmentally sensitive area. So I'll go ahead and stop and take any questions if there are any.
I just have one real quick for you, Ryan.
Yep.
Says petitioner has not filed any letters regarding the availability of water and sewer. Is that?
That is old information. They have since achieved those, and we do have those commitments from those providers. And also our certified floodplain manager, Larry, is available to take any questions on that side of the coin, if there are any.
Any questions?
Sure.
Petitioner?
Ryan Munden with RTS Law here on behalf of Sterling 27 LLC. By way of background, Sterling 27 is owned by the Day family, who has owned the golf course since 2013. When they bought the golf course, it included a covenant that it be operated as a golf course until December of 2020, and thereafter it could be redeveloped. The Days have honored that commitment and extended that by almost 5 years. During their operation of the golf course, they have invested millions of dollars to try to revitalize it, but despite those investments, it has operated at a loss for the last 11 years. They are looking to rezone to R1B now so that they can either redevelop it themselves or sell to a third party. If the rezone is not approved, their intention is not to reopen the golf course. They would then look at by right options in the current A zone, which includes, and these are without special exceptions, so today they could put these uses to use immediately. Mobile homes and manufactured homes, confined feeding operations, recycling collection facilities, lawn and garden supply stores, and community scale solar energy systems, and we know everybody loves those. So that's just kind of, it's not a threat, but is reality that if the rezone's not approved, that's what Plan B would be. We recognize that there are drainage concerns. In fact, we raised these concerns right out of the gate. On August 22nd, our team held a Teams meeting with our engineers and APC staff to discuss the drainage for the site. And again, on September 2nd, we held another Teams meeting with the County Surveyor's Office to discuss it as well. On November 5th, we held a neighborhood meeting where Wood Patel and T-Bird were there to explain drainage to the neighbors, in fact, run some simulations to show what it looks like. Point being, we would not make their drainage issues worse. And in fact, we have offered to include an emergency access through our development in the event that Capilano were to get flooded again like it has in the past and there not be any way for them to get in or out. So we're not set on where that connection might be, but we have offered it as something that we would be willing to include as part of our project. So today you're voting on the appropriateness of the use, not the drainage. Whether we like it or not, there is a process that we're going through. Brian O'Gara mentioned the PD process. The problem with that is that we have to solve the drainage at the beginning, which is an expensive process, and no guarantee that we get our zoning approved when it's all said and done. So that's why we don't like the PD process and why we prefer the straight rezone over that. Again, it's the process. The PD process isn't perfect. That's a knock on that process, is that it's expensive with no guarantee of it getting approved. So that's why we've selected to go this direction. So Area Plan Commission did vote to recommend approval, so we would request your approval this morning and be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Ryan, I have one on the issue with the secondary access for Capilano. That's not in a commitment or anything, so that's basically an agreement, a handshake agreement with the Days and the residents of Capilano.
Correct. And that would be part of the subdivision process, and that connection point would be determined at that point.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we will open it up for discussion. Please limit yourself to 3 minutes. Those of you who are in favor of this rezone, we ask you to please sign in and you may show up. Not seeing anyone. Those of you who are opposed to the rezone, as I say, please sign your name in when you get up here. It should be right there on the podium. Right.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm Ken Buchanan, 3918 North, 300 West. Some of the concerns that all of our neighbors have about this, and I'm sure you gentlemen are well aware of the floodplain, so I won't beat a dead horse with the fact that it has changed over time. We now have homes that are in a floodplain that were never there before until some changes were made in the area. One of the big concerns that I have is the traffic on 300 West. One of the plans that I saw, they want to run an access road that's going to run parallel to my driveway, almost in the backyard or very close to 2 homes of my neighbors that are through there. If you come to that area in mid to late afternoon, you cannot get out of the Meyer and Menards parking lot, the access road that's there, to make a left turn onto 300 to get onto 52. Sometimes when I leave my driveway, I stop to get the mail, traffic is backed up. I have to wait through at least 2 to 3 stoplights. Some of the newer things that are coming in over there, 72 homes have been approved near Hadley Lake off of 350, and one of my neighbors said that there's over 100 homes approved north of Stonehenge. I just got a feeling that all this traffic and the access road they're trying to run through there is really going to bottle up 300. There's no place to widen the road. You got a cemetery on one side, you got, I guess, got a gas station going in on the other. There's no way to widen 300 West. It's up through there. Like I say, the drainage is another issue. I've heard that they're looking to maybe put in some nicer lots or whatever over by Capilano. A lot of consideration has been given to Capilano. I haven't heard anything about the people on the other side, like my home, and if they run this roadway up through there, nothing has been said about putting in a row of trees or anything to cut down noise and traffic and stuff. And I just got a feeling it's going to have a very negative impact on our property values and our properties that we've had. We now have our own wells, we have our own septic. You put this in, I'm concerned that City of West Lafayette's going to annex this. We may not have any choice on that, but the only people that are going to win on this is going to be American Suburban Utilities. And I don't want to have to go to city water and city sewage. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else opposed? Last call, in favor or opposed? Petitioner, you want any follow-up?
With respect to traffic like the drainage issue would be addressed as part of the subdivision process, so there would be a traffic study likely part of that process. So again, today's about appropriateness of the use, not drainage or traffic. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
No, sir.
I'd just like to say that, you know, there's been a lot of feedback in regard to this, and I appreciate that. There was a meeting last week with some of the neighbors, both from Stonehenge and Capilano and along 300, and you know, it was a good meeting. Lasted about 2 hours, and you know, people were very respectful, and I certainly appreciate the the thoughts that were shared. Obviously, this is one of the most complicated sites that I've ever had to deal with as far as development as a commissioner because of this flooding, the flooding issue. And as both Ryans mentioned, that's going to have to be dealt with within the drainage process. And if it can't be dealt with, then it can't be developed, plain and simple. And that's going to be a very, very complicated process. I just feel with this particular site, it should be residential, and that is the ultimate best use. So I'm going to be supporting the rezone.
You heard me ask the question of the petitioner about that secondary entrance point for Capilano. I was around for the two major flood events, and if I remember, one was a 1,000-year event. The other one was a 500, and it shut things down in terms of access. You couldn't get fire engines in, you couldn't get an ambulance in, and yet that process has not. We've had attempts, but we're no better off today than we were in the early 2000s when that happened. And it is extremely important that if this property is developed, that be addressed. And that's going to take a give and take between the developer and a homeowner somewhere there to actually make that happen, because it hasn't happened. And unfortunately, the land around that is already in use now, and the opportunities for correction are just not there. I have faith in the system that governs drainage and some of the other issues that folks have spoken about, traffic congestion, and I have confidence that, as Tom said, if those issues cannot be addressed, then the developer doesn't have a project. So with that, I too will be supporting the initiative.
Okay. Anything else? All right, Jennifer?
Brown,
Yes.
Byers.
Yes.
Murtaugh.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-42 CM passes 3-0.
I think you probably need to vote on the commitment too. I don't know that
Okay.
that got mentioned specifically.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve the commitment that goes along with this rezone.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the commitment that goes along with this rezone. All in favor, do we need to voice vote? Or, okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Thank you. All right, we have another ordinance.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion. We hear ordinance 2025-43-CM, IU Health Arnett, Inc., R3 to MR.
Second.
Okay, Brian?
Thank you. And a quick point of order for Doug. What accompanied this is also the termination of an existing commitment. That was voted on by the APC. Did it stop with them, or does that have to be finalized here? We rarely get these.
It's a curveball. I would say that voting to approve the termination won't do you any harm, and it might help.
Okay, all right. Well,
And do we do that prior to?
I think so.
Okay,
I mean, I'm making some of this up as I go along, so, but I think doing it first, clears the path for you to take the new action.
okay. We'll get there when we get there. All right, the property in question was rezoned to R3 in June of this year with a commitment to limit uses. The uses that prohibit multifamily dwellings, shared housing, fraternities, et cetera. There's a list of things here in the staff report. Prior to that, the site was zoned R2 and had been for a long time. The site itself does have access to sewer and water. Obviously, the MR zone does clear the way to open up the door to medical-related uses, which is what MR stands for. And the IU Health system is interested in bringing a facility here, and I can let the petitioner expound on that. In terms of the use itself, the land use plan would support these sorts of quasi-public uses. Hospitals, these sorts of things are generally supported in any zone because they have a direct public use impact. And so there's support on that end. So staff does recommend approval, of course, of the zone itself, and then the termination of the commitment is just specific to the legal description of this MR area. So the rest of the area will, outside of this, will continue to carry the commitment. So little FYI there. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Petitioner.
Thank you. Good morning. Chris Shellman of Gutwein Law, 250 Main Street, here on behalf of IU Arnett Health. This morning's request is ultimately about a new hospital proposed at this site location. It's a $127 million investment, bring over 200 jobs, and it's strategically located to further enhance IU Health's ecosystem in the community and serve residents. As mentioned, there's two things tonight. Today there's a rezone to MR and the termination of the commitment. We agree with the staff on both of these items and appreciate their help. The commitment talks about uses that aren't applicable or permitted in the MR zone or would otherwise make more sense related to the hospital. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have and respectfully request approval.
Good. Thank you. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak in favor or oppose to this rezone? Not seeing anyone. You want to do the commitment first?
Yeah, so my recommendation would be to just do a voice vote on a motion to vacate the prior zoning commitment as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and second to approve this vacate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. And now for the ordinance as vacated.
Byers,
Yes.
Murtaugh,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-43 CM passes 3-0.
Okay, thank you. The Nelson Minor subdivision has been withdrawn, so highway, Stu?
Good morning. We have two proposals carried over from the last meeting, and we have recommendations. The first being a fuel bid. We received three proposals within the time period allotted. First from Keystone Cooperative, Newton Oil, and Atlantic Petroleum. We ran calculations based on projected volumes at the various fuel prices. We found that, also I need to say that Atlantic Petroleum also did fail to provide a bond with their bid, which was a disqualification. Newton Oil was in the low bidder, projecting $553,575 based on normal fuel usage over the first year of the contract. So we recommend that you accept that proposal along with the surety bond, 5% bond with that.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve that we award the fuel bid to Newton Oil Company, Inc. In addition, also approve the surety bond.
Second.
All right, motion and second to approve this awarding. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Some tandem trucks.
And the second proposal was for two tandem dump trucks. We received 3 proposals, one from M&K Mac, another from Stroop Freightliner, and the third from McMahon Volvo. We ran comparisons on the base proposals along with our records of a 20-year projected maintenance cost, and found that the cost of ownership over 20 years was in favor of the McMahon Volvo truck at $586,000 in 20-year expenses, $570,000 base purchase price. And we also have a surety, a 5% surety with that to be accepted.
Mr. President, I would move that we award to McMahon Truck Center as outlined by Stu.
Second.
And the bond?
And the bond.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, to approve this proposal plus the bond as stated for 2 tandem trucks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Title 4E.
Thank you.
Oh, there's Amy.
Good morning. I'm just asking for approval for the agreement for our Title 4E with the Public Defender Commission. This money is given back to the county because we handle Chin's TPR cases. We started this into this program in 2022. We essentially only have to report our Chin's TPR numbers, and we already do that in our reimbursement, so it doesn't require any extra work from our office. To date, when they sent me this, we had $91,958.50. So you're getting roughly about $26,000 to $27,000 a year. We haven't spent any of that. It's just building. But I'm asking for approval so that we can send this agreement and receive that money.
And Amy, is that reimbursed at 100%?
The Public Defender Commission made an agreement with the state that public defender offices that handle Chin's TPRs receive a percentage of money based on the number of Chins and TPRs, and I don't exactly know what that is.
Thank you. Mr. President, I move that we approve the cooperative agreement for Title 4E cost recovery.
Second.
Motion is second to approve this contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Southside Landfill.
We're going to pull that until the next meeting.
Okay, that's been moved to the next meeting. Grants.
Mr. President, I'd like to apply for a grant to Youth Services, requesting permission to apply for the JDAI funding up to $95,000 for fiscal year 27, which is July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027, to support interventions in the school, home, and community to include policing the teen brain, tutoring, teen court, and other programs.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to grant permission to apply as stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Okay, so MOU contracts.
Yeah. Mr. President, we would like permission to accept the ADR Court Professional Services Agreement with Louisa M. White, Austin Harris, and Colin Newman for speed mediation in Superior Court 3 and additional mediation services in Circuit Court at the rate of $100 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to approve these MOU contracts with the 3 people as stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. All right. Sticking. Any unfinished or new business need to come before the board? Reports on file. We have from the Building Commission, which is the November 25th permit report. That report will be in the Commissioner's office for public viewing. Any public comment? Not seeing any.
Motion
Move to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned. Mr. Robinette, I need to talk to you.